body for fucking ever. So if it's something funny and it's going to make you giggle every time you look at that thing, have a blast. Let's do it. You know, if it's going to make you cry because you miss your grandma every time you look at it, great, let's do it. You know, but if you're going to look at that thing and be like, man, I spent $700 too much on this piece of shit. No, I don't want that in your life. You know, I want you to stick with that idea. And you're coming to me because you know I can decorate you in that idea with the proper technical ability and give you the best tattoo that you're gonna want to walk around with. So, and that goes back to just choosing the artist, because when you guys have that union there, then anything you make is going to be awesome because you've already got a great relationship and bond built.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And do you ever run into people, and they make me laugh, when they go, oh, you have tattoos, did you get them just because? And you make them realize, like, no, I got this because, you know, my best friend died, or I lost someone, you know, or I did something that made me stronger and empowerment, and I put this on my body. Because I often tell people, you know, some people take pictures for memories. I tattoo myself, so whenever I need a reminder of something, all I have to do is look to me, not look to something.
Absolutely.
But look to me. And then I'll remind you and go, okay, this is why I did this. I love this person, and I'm glad they're still with me. And they kind of like, oh, I didn't realize people who tattooed themselves did it that way. Well, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. I mean, I have a flashlight on the inside of my thigh, and I fucking love it. It's a great tattoo. It's so stupid, and it's poorly done, but it's a fucking awesome tattoo. I never want to not have my flashlight there. You know, I mean, it doesn't have any deep meaning other than it's funnier than shit. You know? And I'll live with that happily forever, you know?
Exactly. When you were in your, you know, apprentice days, I guess, of tattooing, did you get brave souls that offered their body as a canvas to you? And did you ever have to apologize for people going, I am so sorry, I'm just learning? I'm so sorry.
Absolutely. I always told them beforehand that I was just learning. There was always a quality guarantee. If I couldn't do it properly, you know, my father would fix it for them. And I've lived by those standards, you know, in my own company now. You know, I mean, if it's not right, we take care of it. But yeah, I have one story I can tell you.
Yeah.
Fella that I tattooed back in the day, he was like one of my, I think I was in the double digits, so like maybe 15th tattoo or 10th tattoo that I'd ever done. It was in late 90s, so tribal was huge, and I loved tribal. I was a tribal master, so I thought. But I loved tribal, so I did this fucking tribal ankle thing on this, like on the front of his foot. It was where his ankle and his foot meet, and it was really bad. I fucking chewed the shit out of this kid. It took so long to heal that the rumor went around that he had to have his foot amputated because I did such a bad job. So people started calling me the Butcher. And this is the town I still work in today. So I single-handedly created a reputation of garbage and then created a new name off of that years later that was a much more positive name. But yeah, I started as the Butcher back, you know, fucking 20 years ago.
I'm hoping you didn't put that on your Ink Master, you know, application. Like, people call me the Butcher. Yeah, I'm awesome. I told the producers all kinds of shit like that. Yeah, I mean, I have no secrets as to who I was versus who I am. I'm proud of where I am now, so I'll tell all my fucking stories, man. I love telling the stories to people when I'm tattooing them now because I'm so confident in my ability now. It's like, oh, you poor thing, I'm just toying with you. I shouldn't do this. But, you know, you tell stories like that, and then they have a great tattoo that feels like a champion. You're like, all right, cool. They had a good time. Did I tell you this one time I totally fucked up a tattoo? Or was that I supposed to be there? Oh, you're in good hands. It's fine. I'm a Butcher.
You know, telling stories of spelling shit wrong and then how I pulled myself out of it. Like, I had an apprentice that at one point I was so fucking busy And I was just cranking tattoos out left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right. These are parts of the times where I made mistakes and had to learn from them. And I was having my apprentice draw every tattoo I was doing to get his drawing skills up and get his speed up and get his ability to create on demand for the client. He drew me two different things. One of them was a child's name, and one of them was Die Endlessly. And I don't really remember how the kid's name went, but the Die Endlessly was fucking awesome because I started with the Y, and by the time I'd gotten 2 letters in, I realized he spelled Die Endlessly.
Oh, no.
So I was like, no fucking way. So I was able to pull that one out of the weed, taking the Y and turn it into an L and then another Y. It was super easy. But holy shit, for like 4 seconds, 20 seconds maybe, I was freaked out. I was like, oh, what the fuck am I going to do? What the fuck am I going to do? And then I figured it out. Yeah, so shit happens, man. And that's all part of it.
Oh my God, you're so funny. You know, and it does, you know, and, you know, sometimes even the client really just has to be a good sport about it because things happen, you know, But it's nice when they can come to you and be like, can you fix me, man? And you're like, you know, even if you're just like, you know, silently freaking out, but as long as you go, yep, I can, not a problem, you know, it means a whole new world for the client.
Absolutely. The girl that I just tattooed today, I did a cover-up on her chest before her wedding, my best friend's wife. And, you know, she had this tattoo that she really wanted to have this meaning and this beautiful, soulful, you know, bit to it. And the dude printed something off of Google and just put it on her. And she was ignorant and naive and didn't know. So before her wedding, I wanted to pretty her up and, you know, make that tattoo look like what it was really supposed to. And I was able to. And she was so fucking thankful. And now she's to the point where she just wants to get blindfolded and just have me tattoo her. Just like completely blindly go into it because she trusts me that much. And she knows if I could do that with what she had, what could I do with a blank canvas and the intuition that I operate on. So it's really cool to see how much some people are willing to go with their dedication to your ability once you do something awesome on that, you know?
Absolutely, 100%. And, you know, what an awesome testimonial to your talent. You know,
it makes you feel good.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, before we went live, you were talking about how, you know, your family is number one priority. How supportive is your family in your art, and how supportive was your family during Ink Master?
My wife is the dopest bitch you'll ever meet. She is so down to earth, and she is so fucking on point. And she'll shoot somebody in the face for me, and she fucking lie to the cops for me.
She's a ride or die bitch. I feel her. Give her like.
Right, she's my down-ass bitch. She's fucking dope as hell. Like, my first words at our wedding when I spoke was, bitch, I love the fucking shit out of you, and she loved every minute of it, and she's the coolest thing. So she's been the number one support for me this whole way through. We have a son, he's 14, and he's just stoked as fuck. He's been my buddy from day one. Like, he's my guy. You know, me and him, we've had a bond forever. And my wife isn't his biological mom, but they have a bond so strong and so beautiful. So they stood together and took care of the house for me. And my wife, Erica, she took care of the business for me. And it was some of the most hectic and craziest of times, and we had problematic issues going on with our artist and her domestic issues, and it was a rough issue. It was a rough time, but we made it through. I mean, but we're no stranger to that because I've always had just a hard road. I've always been that guy that's just hard-headed and stubborn and, you know, takes the hard way to do everything. So, you know, the support of my wife and my son has been, you know, some of the biggest things ever. And, you know, I couldn't have done it without my mom and dad giving me, you know, the business and tattooing skills because they taught me the whole business and everything. And, I mean, all that other stuff about life, too, you know. So, family's always been huge to me. And now that I've got to choose my own family members and my wife and my son, it's just
You're
really
muffled
cool.
a little bit, honey.
What's that?
You're muffled a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's why I just want to let you know because I didn't want us to miss anything you're saying. So
Cool.
Are you really close with your mom and your dad then?
I was for my whole life, and when I went out on my own and opened my own studio, well, actually, when I went out and just left working for my family, things got a lot rockier than I had liked them to. The rivalry between my brothers is absolutely real, and it's tough. I hate it. I wish we could just get along, but he's got a lot of issues he needs to work out before he can love himself and love others. So when he gets over that shit, we'll be buddies again. It was hard for me. It was hard for my mom when I left the family business because she took it very personally. But you know, there were reasons where I felt completely justified and still do, and that was a large part of my wife being a big part of my support team. And my son even, you know, because we believe in complete transparency in my household, so he always knows what's going on in everybody's lives, and you know, we're all real good to each other. And you know, like I said, with my mom, you know, we were very close. We'll get back there one day. You know, it's just business and family are always a hard mixture. You know, so separating them is just as equally as tedious.
I think it's you know, we're Italian, and sometimes we have grudges against each other. So we
we're
love
Italian
each other.
and Cuban.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
We love each other. You hold grudges and you love each other, and nobody can talk to you that way except for me, and nobody can hurt you except for I can.
Exactly. You fight one family function, you hug at the next, and then it's that love-hate thing that it's funny, but it's like our cultures can't live without it because that's actually what keeps you glued together is the love-hate. It's like, and you're exactly right. I can diss my family and I can call them assholes, but if you dare look at them sideways, I will run you over with my car and I will dance around your body.
Right, exactly. So, you know, that's why I say things aren't perfect with me and my mom right now, but, you know, I've got nothing but love and respect for her and my dad. You know, tons of appreciation for, you know, all their parents sacrificed to be parents, and then, you know, just passing on the knowledge of the family business to me because I feel like I was born with tattoo ink in my heart and veins. You know, it's what I do. It's not something that I just picked up. You know, it's part of my life. No matter what, I will always do something involving tattooing. I'll always, you know, pick up a machine. I'll always continue to be an artist because it's just there, and I believe that my father passed that on to me because he's a natural artist. You know, and I have a lot of love and respect and appreciation for all of the spiritual energy and knowledge that my father brought on to me growing up in life, because I always thought he was a fucking weird cat. We always joked about it being a witch doctor, but the guy's on to something. So, yeah, I got a really fucking cool family, really multifaceted. I've got an oldest brother. His name is Michael, and he's a fucking musician all over the world. He's Babyface's music producer. He's been touring with him for years. He's done music for so many different films and worked with so many different musicians. So like I said, it's a really multifaceted family, full of art, full of passion. Passion is our biggest gift and curse.
Because it makes you very defensive sometimes. Passion brings out a rage in you that you probably didn't know you had until you realized you had passion. And regardless if it's a family member or a friend, you know, they say just one thing that kind of treats you the wrong way, it's a full-out war because you feel like it's your baby. You have to protect your baby.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you saw it on the show with me and my brother, you know, like those were real fights. And it was like we were cool while we were filming. Like, we were totally cool together. We would, every time we were done fighting, I would go and apologize first just to let him know, hey, bud, not attacking you. You know, we're just doing what we came here to do. You know, this is what the people want to see. These are real fights. That, you know, it sucks that we keep striking nerves on each other, but I love you, and, you know, there's no fight here. And, you know, that's what our fights are all about, was my passion for the industry and my perceived vision of his lack of passion for the industry, you know, and it's like, it was hard, you know, it's hard fighting about the passion that I was born with against the person that I was born next to.
Right.
You know, because it's